Now that we're through the first half of the year, I thought that now would be a good time to talk about my top 5 games for the second half of the year. They're in no particular order, it just makes it easier to follow the video, but let's start with number 1. If you just happen to be in the market for a FPS that combines hordes of aliens, demons, disgusting monsters with cheesy one-liners and an obscene amount of explosions and gore, then look no further. Because Serious Sam 4 is not too far away and I'm really looking forward to playing the next game in the series. I've been playing the Serious Sam game since the first encounter in 2001. Yes, I am that old. And hopefully this installation is just as good and wacky as the rest. The game series itself has never taken itself too seriously and it doesn't pin itself down with some super serious campaign story. It's always focused on throwing you straight into the action and just basically going, here, have fun, kill all these things. If this game's anything like the prequels, then it should be a very fun game, and with a co-op mode you can even bring your friends along to help you blow up the horde that wants to rip you into little pieces. The game's release was delayed from August, but it should be out on September the 24th, and it's one that I'm going to be buying straight away. And I hope that it lives up to the expectations and the hype, because the previous games were amazing. Moving on now to game number 2, which is Starbase. This game is probably going to be one of those games that eats up my time in gaming once I get hold of it. It's an MMO, it's PvP, it's in space, and it's almost limitless in terms of what you can actually do. You can build ships, space stations, code your own equipment to make it work the way you want it to work, and like EVE Online, it will probably end up with huge player factions that can go to war with each other over anything. Whether you want to chill and just trade your ship designs as a peaceful PvE player, or whether you want to go around delivering space pizza, the choice is yours. I think the biggest mind-blowing aspect of this game is that it's all on one server, as in every single player is playing on the same server. I think it's going to be crazy to see it actually working, and I think the combat within this game will be cinematic worthy just because of the scale of combat that you could actually have. The early access got delayed from last year and it cannot come fast enough for me. I really need to try this game out ASAP. The third game in my list, to no surprise, is Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think there's much I even really need to say on it, to be fair. It's a futuristic GTA styled game with almost limitless customization options and a massive story driven RPG aspect. I'm kind of reserving my hype for this purely because as much as we know it will probably be great, it keeps getting delayed unfortunately. And if you haven't heard about this game till now, I assume you just got internet, so I would go check it out. From what we've heard from the developers, it will be an 18 rated game with cutscenes and customization that will require you to either lock your doors or get very questionable looks from your family members. Although I will say it looks like one of those games that's really going to push your PC. But hopefully with no further delay, we'll find out on the 18th of November. For the fourth game, I've picked Predecessor. It's a new MOBA game styled from the old Paragon assets, but it is not just a copycat game. It will contain a completely new, ground-up economy instead of the old card system. Plus, they're going to have new and old heroes to choose from, so it's not going to be the same roster that you had previously. They are also going to be using a free-to-play model with the option to buy skins if you like what you see. For me, this seems like the most promising Paragon-styled MOBA out of the bunch purely because they're being super transparent with their development. On top of that, they are not going to charge you to play it, which some of the other ones have done before very quickly going silent and vanishing. If you enjoyed the old Paragon game like I did, this might be the next best thing for you and potentially even better with development. There's no set release date, but I'm going to assume that there'll be an open beta at some point in late 2020. Although if you can't wait for open beta, there is an alpha sign up, I'll put a link to that in the description. Moving on to the final game, however, is a game I don't think you will have heard of. It's called Manor Lords. And if you haven't heard of this game, I don't blame you, because until a few months ago, I hadn't either. And it is literally one guy making the entire thing. The game is a city-building game with large-scale tactical battles, to paraphrase the developer. It focuses on making it feel like a real medieval city, as well as the in-depth battles that feel realistic by means of formations, morale, fatigue and weather, all taking their toll on your units as well as the enemy. There's not too much right now to really get a feel for it other than the concept, but for me that instantly grabbed my attention. It just sounds like a good game if it's done right. Looking after your own little medieval town that you've designed from scratch and then defending it from outsider scum that are trying to raid it. Yes please. There's no set release date for this, but it's currently set as fall 2020 on Steam for early access, so hopefully not too much longer to wait. If there is an alpha however, I will be signing up for it. Well, that just about wraps up this video. Let me know of any games that you're looking forward to if I've missed them, just so I can add them to my wish list as well. And I hope to see you here for the next video.